um, but yeah, it's a crazy show. I mean, the choice of girls could always be better. One of the first things I ever saw Sinn do, freak show wise, was he would get darts thrown in his back, and that's like, I don't know anybody who wants to have darts thrown in their back. I'm pretty sure it's dangerous. One of the first things I ever saw Sinn do, freak show wise, was he would get darts thrown in his back, and that's like, I don't know anybody who wants to have darts thrown in their back. I'm pretty sure it's dangerous too. But yeah, that was like one of his things, where everyone was like, that's doing something crazy like that's a pretty cool way to get people to talk about you and be like, hey, that's that guy that does that crazy thing. And hey, who's that guy that does that crazy thing, and then it keeps going. He gets darts thrown in his back, which, I sure wouldn't want. Heaven forbid you hit a disc or a spine or a vein or something like that. But yeah, that was pretty. I remember it being too extreme for like anybody in any wrestling. If I could compare Sinn to somebody, it honestly wouldn't be able to be just one person. It would probably have to be a whole bunch of people molded into one person. Like, let's say, probably anybody who's in Ripley's Believe It or Not. They have a little piece of, or Sinn has a little piece of them in him. Anybody who does anything weird for the Guinness Book of World Records. Probably a little Jim Rose, a little Rob Zombie. Anybody in those kind of crazy movies. Maybe he's got a little M. Night Shyamalan in his head, or Eli Ross or something like that. But yeah, he's just a whole bunch of creatively, artistically crazy, weird, freaky people molded into one bar. And when I flipped over and when we landed, when she went down like that, I was flipping over that way, and when I was coming down, my weight was coming forward and her elbow was coming up, and it took my nostril clean off my face. Everybody was like, "Oh, did you have a nose ring? Did it get ripped out?" And I've never had my nose pierced, never had a nose ring. Just literally the elbow came straight up in my nose and ripped it right off my face and busted my nose too. And it was just, I was bleeding forever and ever, and I couldn't see, and the ref was wiping blood out of my eyes. It was probably one of the weirdest, scariest things. I had to go to the hospital and sit for 5 hours with a bag of ice on my face and get my nose stitched back on. Called my mom. It's probably one of her favorite stories too. Called my mom at 5 a.m. to tell her that I was still 2 hours away, but I was coming home from the hospital, and because I had to get my nose stitched back on my face. Nick and his choice of women. Me being his female best friend. It's probably going to sound very one-sided. I know his type. I know what his type looks like. He's really too nice of a guy, so he attracts a lot of crazy girls. They all have big cans. They all have blonde hair. Some have tattoos, some don't. Some have kids, some don't. They usually do. But yeah, it's very hard for me to say anything nice because I've been there through all of the madness and the breakups, and he has for me too. He really just needs to have a nice, sane girl, semi-sane, crazy in a good way. Crazy's okay as long as it's good crazy, but I mean, as far as just his patience is through the roof, which sometimes makes me mad because I'm like, you just need to do that sometimes, and he doesn't, which is, I guess, a good thing, but I'd like to. Just being the defensive friend. But yeah, pretty much Pam Anderson on crack, I guess you could say, is what he usually ends up with.
We are the Deadite Empire, Tampa Bay's first zombie social club. The absolute first zombie social club in Tampa. The Death Monkeys are awesome. Favorite thing about working with the Death Monkeys is, guys are fucking crazy.
So I'll just
Death
come at you.
Monkeys, bizarre. Death Monkeys, wild. Death Monkeys, extreme. Death Monkeys, freaky. Death Monkeys, creepy. Death Monkeys are the shit. God love the guy, if you can get away with wearing a French maid's costume, well, at least the bottom half of that, cowboy boots, stuffed animals, you're all right in our book.